Going over the top 10 stocks to be buying, in my opinion, I do think we are at a correction in the stock market right now. And with this correction, I do believe that we are already bottomed out. For example, MSTR here, going to be the first stock I'm going to be talking about. And today being March 26th, we already bottomed out here at 231. This is just my personal opinion. And currently at 326 here, I do think we are at a very good dip opportunity, especially between 295 and 320. If you start to see those prices being tested, I think that is a great entry for MSTR, especially those looking to go long term. All right, so for the purposes of this video, it will be my personal trade ideas and it will be my personal long-term investment ideas as well. Okay, so personally between 295 and 320, I think that is a really good preferable entry for MSTR. If you're looking at a downside to 295 from current prices, that's about a 9% drop. In the short term, I do think we get that test towards 353 for MSTR, and that is the upper Bollinger Band here. It's going to be a 10% increase to the top side. And for the bottom side here, I'm going to color in red so you can see. Short term, 295 major support, 320 is also a support level as well. Recap, 320 to 295, that's where I'll look to enter, and potentially a swing trader could potentially exit at 353. However, if I'm long-term in MSTR, I think dollar cost averaging right at these levels, I wouldn't mind at all. Looking for that break above 353 to see tests moving up towards 425. I do think in April 2025 here, and a lot of these price I'm going over with is going to be a prediction going into April 2025. Okay, so with April 2025 in mind, 425 here is going to be a 32% increase in the stock price. So watch out for this rally here for MSTR towards 425. Okay. Going to go over the second stock here, and it's going to be NVIDIA. NVIDIA here currently at 113. I mentioned this a lot in our previous videos that between $117 and $96, this is a good time in my opinion to be dollar cost averaging into NVIDIA stock. Personally, that's what I'll be doing as well while we're below 117. I think it's a really good place to be dollar cost averaging into NVIDIA. Okay. In the short term, we do have a upside potential move here towards 124. And I do think 124 is going to be tested here within the 1 or 2 weeks. That is a 8% move towards the top side for NVIDIA stock. And of course, long term, I do think we get this test towards 132. Again, 15%, 142, 23%, and then 153, a 33% move towards the all-time high. Okay, so throughout this year of 2025, I do think 153 is going to be tested. It's just going to be a matter of time before we start to see another rally here for NVIDIA towards the top side. All right. MSTR, if I haven't mentioned yet, for long term, I do think MSTR is going to get that all-time high test as well. And I do think within this year of 2025, Bitcoin should be seeing its all-time high. And of course, MSTR here possibly hitting 543 as well from current prices. Again, that's going to be a 68% move towards the top side. So you do have NVIDIA and MSTR here for the top side of all-time highs. You can see the percentage gains for this year. I do think during this year, both of these are going to hit its all-time high. All right. Now let's go into the third stock, which is Tesla stock here. Tesla stock here, price testing the 200 daily moving average at the moment. All right. We did reject it just a little bit, but we did test 290 before rejecting back down below the 200-day moving average. Between 272 and 217 is a really good dip opportunity, but if you don't think 217 is going to be tested again, I do think that is going to be the bottom here for Tesla stock. The new major support here and possible bottom for Tesla is at 250. Now that's just my personal opinion. None of this is financial advice. Between 250 and 272 is going to be that really good entry point for Tesla stock. Say if you missed out on this dip opportunity between 217 and 250, I would personally enter at 250 to 272. Look to dollar cost average and look to go long term, especially, or you can even honestly potentially do this as a swing trade idea, playing the momentum towards the top side here. But long term, I do think the all-time high is going to be tested for Tesla stock as well. If we measure the current price here to the all-time high, this is a hypothetical situation that is close to an 80% move towards the top side, all right, from our current prices here. Now let's go ahead and view 313, which is our short-term price target here. During April, I do think 313 is going to be tested, and from current prices, that is going to be an additional 15% move towards the top side from current prices here. If you are looking for that dip towards 250, and it's also a potential gap fill as well, that is going to be a 9% drop in the stock price here for Tesla, okay? Now that you have had Tesla, NVIDIA, and MSTR. Let's go ahead and go into the fourth stock. All right, fourth stock I would be buying right now is Palantir. And although Palantir has gone up a lot over the past few weeks, right, and past few months, I mean, we had a high of 125, now having that dip and establishing our major support here at about $75. What I would want to keep an eye out for is if we can remain above $80, right? $80 here going to be a major support level to keep an eye out for. My preferable entry for Palantir is actually between 80 and 65. However, if this is already bottomed out and we missed the opportunity to enter, right, between 80 and 97, I think is a really good dip opportunity as well, especially if long-term dollar cost averaging could be a good idea here. Just keep in mind that the drop here towards $80, again, could be a 14% drop. And hypothetically, if we drop down to 75, that could potentially be a 20% drop. So I'm patiently holding, and hypothetically, I wouldn't mind adding at these levels between 97 and $80. And again, if you're looking for the better or best opportunity, it is going to be between 65 and 80. However, like I said, 97 to $80, I don't mind dollar cost averaging as well. The reason is because I do believe, like I mentioned before in our previous videos, we will get that test towards 125, and that is the all-time high for Palantir stock. This should occur within this year, and I don't know if it will occur within April, but if we get an overall market rally during April, then I'd expect to see some movement towards the top side here for Palantir stock as well, okay? All right, let's go ahead and go into our fifth stock here, and that's going to be Amazon stock, currently at 201. This stock here, if we are below $200, I think this is a really good entry point for Amazon stock. You know, it's only $201 right now, $1 above what I would prefer to enter. So I don't mind dollar cost averaging right now for Amazon stock. The reason is because I do think we get this test in the short term. So going into April, I think we get this test at 216, which is going to be a 7 to 8% move towards the top side. In the short term, though, in the next couple of days, if there is an overall market pullback, I would expect to see 190 hold as a major support. And again, this is a 5% drop from our current prices. There's a 5% risk versus this upside move of 7.5% during April. And within this year, I do think the all-time high for Amazon stock is going to be tested. And to round it up, I'll move it up to the 248 resistance level on the Fibonacci retracement. That is going to be about a 23% move towards the top side here for Amazon stock. All right. And again, so long as we are below the middle Bollinger Band here for Amazon stock on the daily chart, I think it's a really good dip opportunity. With most stocks here for the Mag 7, you can potentially view the middle Bollinger Band and the lower Bollinger Band as a dip opportunity. Tongue twister there, right? This is a dip opportunity. So let's go ahead and go into Google stock for the next one. So very similar as well, right? Mag 7 here, Google stock at 166. Between the middle Bollinger Band and the lower Bollinger Band, this is a dip opportunity. So price between 155 and right around 172 could be viewed as a really good dip opportunity. I'm looking for that recovery above the 200 daily moving average, which is this orange line that you see. Watch for a move all the way back to 191. That's my prediction here for going into April 2025. That is a 15% move towards the top side. And in the short term, if 165 can't hold as support, there is that small dip opportunity here down towards about 155. And again, that's only going to be a 6% drop versus a 15% upside move. So again, I'm not trying to time the bottom. I think this is a really good dip opportunity if you are looking for upside move for Google stock, okay? And of course, within 2025, I do think we get that all-time high test of 206. And I actually predict, this is my personal opinion, right? I do think we get this test towards 220 as well, okay? But for a minimum test, the all-time high here, going to be about a 25% upside move. And then here's my prediction of 220 for the within 2025. It's right around a 33% move towards the top side, okay? Robinhood here, a little bit risky as well, but $44, down 8% today. This one's a very volatile, but personally, I would prefer to enter now between $46 and $40. Before I mentioned this, I said anything below $40 is an immediate buy, and you can see here we only lasted a couple days below $40 before we got bought all the way back up above $46.70. Now just the RSI trying to cool down and overall market pullback as well. Again, between $46.70 and $40 is a really good entry point for Robinhood stock here. Long term, I'm going to go ahead and share the upside move right now. Long term, I think the all-time high should be tested, which is going to be $66.91. Or this isn't the all-time high, actually. I believe this is the recent high here. If we move back, the all-time high is actually $85. But our recent high here of $67 is going to be about a 50% move towards the top side from current prices. if we look at the pullback from our current price down to about $40, this I think is the worst case scenario or most bearish case scenario. It's going to be about a 9% downside. So you risk a 9% downside versus a 50% move towards the top side here, again, long term, okay? Within April 2025, I do think we actually get this move towards $54, and $54 is going to be a 22% move towards the top side. So again, anything below 46.70 I think is a really good entry point for Robinhood stock. That's just my opinion, all right? Meta here, going to be the 8th stock here that we're going to go over. Meta Platforms. Price between 626 and 590 is going to be a really attractive price to be entering. And again, from current price down to about 590, that is really only a 3% drop there. We already bottomed out here, in my opinion, at 575. And the reason is because we confirmed support here at the 200 daily moving average. It's possible we might get another bounce there, but long term, I do expect to see upside movement as well. And going into April 2025, my prediction is actually going to be closer towards 670 here. So $670 here is going to be about an 8 to 9% move towards upside. Within 2025, I am looking for $740 to be retested, and that is going to be a 20% move towards the top side for Meta stock here. And again, dip opportunity between 626 and 590. All right, that's just my personal opinion. Look to dollar cost average there, and I don't think we break below the 200 daily moving average. And if we do, I'll look to add in a bigger position for Meta stock there. AMD here is going to be our 9th stock, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on AMD here, but there's a lot of things I want to keep in mind here and note of for AMD stock. For the past few months here, from 2024, late 2024 down into this year, we've been trending between the lower and middle Bollinger Band, which means the bears were in the bears were here pretty much controlling the buying pressure and selling pressure. We've had a lot of rejections of the middle Bollinger Band and a lot of bounces on the lower Bollinger Band here, so making lower lows and then also lower highs. Finally here, we broke above the middle Bollinger Band, as you can see, just the last couple of days here, trading and hitting a high of 115, 116, pretty close to the upper Bollinger Band. What I'm viewing right now is support at 105, so I think one of the better dip opportunities for AMD stock right now is going to be 105. I don't think we test down towards $94 again. This is just my personal opinion. Between 105 and 110 here could be a really good dip opportunity for AMD stock. Just watch for that break above 117, which is the upper Bollinger Band here. Once we break above that, I would keep an eye out during this year. This could occur a lot sooner than expected, but during this year, I do expect to see 138 or 141 here be tested. Okay, so that's going to be about a 28% move towards the top side. And again, for downside, 105 here, I think is going to be the bottom for AMD stock. And again, that's only a 4 to 5% downside compared to that 28% upside move. Okay, I don't have any predictions for April because I think AMD is going to be quite explosive. So at any time, keep an eye out for 141 being tested. But as a bearish case scenario, I think 141 gets tested by the end of the year. Okay, but within this year, it could occur a lot sooner than expected. Watch out for AMD stock towards the top side. And again, I have 105 here as a support. If for some reason there is a break down below the middle Bollinger Band, you do have support down there at $94, and that's going to be about a 14% drop. But again, my opinion here is just 105 being the next bottom. Apple stock here is going to be the last stock, all right? A lot of people are saying like there's not a lot of sales and all that. I still think technology is going to be continuing to innovate, and Apple here always going to be a good dip opportunity, especially now that we are below the 200 daily moving average. This here is a dip opportunity below the 200 daily moving average, okay? Between the middle and lower Bollinger Band here, so anything between 230 and about 205 is a really good dip opportunity for Apple stock. We're kind of in the middle here, a little bit slightly above the middle at 221. So still thinking this is a pretty good dip opportunity. The worst case scenario is if we dip down to the lower Bollinger Band, which is going to be about a 7% drop on the stock. So wouldn't mind dollar cost averaging here for Apple stock. But long term, and again, at least going into April 2025 here, I do think we get that 230 test, which is going to be a 4% upside move. So while the other stocks have a lot more potential for upside move here, I think Apple here might just be about just till 230. Right, so if we do break above 230, then in the following months, the move could be more explosive towards the upper Bollinger Band, which is right around 256. It's going to be a 15% move towards the top side there. And of course, during this year, I do think we get that test of 260. And I actually already have my prediction here of a pretty high, bold prediction here that I don't think a lot of people will agree with, but 310 here, that's just my personal prediction for Apple stock. That's going to be a 40% move towards the top side from our current prices. And the reason is mainly because before here, once we dip down to the lower Bollinger Band, we had about a 20% increase from the recent high to the next high, and from our all-time high at the moment, a 20% increase is all the way up to 310 there. So that's just something to keep an eye out for. And again, I do think we're in this dip opportunity for a lot of these stocks. These are my personal top 10 stocks I'd be buying right now. And let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Some of these are going to be extremely high risk. And taking a look at Tesla, Kathy Wood's price target on Tesla at $2,600 per share. Quite bold, but if you look at any of her previous analysis and predictions, she's always been right so far for Tesla stock, and I wouldn't be doubting Kathy Woods there on that $2,600 price target for Tesla. And so far right now, with this massive dip after this massive move up towards the top side, I do think this is a really good dip opportunity for Tesla stock. I wouldn't sleep on Tesla stock. I think Tesla stock here would be one of my number one picks here, followed by NVIDIA being the number two pick. If I had to rate all these stocks, right, Tesla and NVIDIA here would be my top two picks. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. Are you in any of these stocks? Are you long-term in any of these stocks? Or are you just trading for the short-term momentum play, swing trade play? Let us know down below in the comments. And if you don't have a community yet, I highly recommend joining our Discord. Link down below in the description. It's free to join. There's over 32,000 people there, and we do have a chat section for each of these stocks on the Discord, as well as many other stocks as well. And so you're more than welcome to come on in, share due diligence, ask questions, and read up on other people's opinions. All right. Last but not least, if you're looking for live entries and exits on stocks and options from multiple analysts, as well as our stock bot that we just have up implemented here, a new stock bot being implemented here in our Discord. You can join our Patreon right now. We currently have a 90% off permanent discount as we're celebrating our 5-year anniversary. Link down below in the description for that if you are interested. And if you're not, it's totally optional, no worries. You can just join the Discord. It's free to join, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video for top 10 stocks to be buying. And again, this is going to be the top 10 stocks to be buying going into April, all right? And then, as a reminder, this is not financial advice, just my personal opinion. If you guys want to support the channel, feel free to like the video and subscribe. We're pretty close to 2,000 subscribers, so really appreciate everybody for watching and tuning in, as well as subscribing to the channel. And if you do enjoy the video, turn on notifications. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you all.